go out to start your own company, even if you fail, you're generally considered worth more to the company you left because you've gained all this valuable experience.
What does it really take to be successful in business or in life? First, be willing to adapt. Whether it's something within your control or something that isn't, never be afraid to adjust your plans when a new situation or new idea presents itself. Work with the best, even if they are better than you. Only by challenging yourself and surrounding yourself with others who challenge you will you be able to advance your skills to continually make progress.
Want to work with the best people they can find, hopefully people that are even better than them.
Don't allow yourself to become stagnant so that the only way to move is forward. Be customer driven. Without customers, every business will fail, and the best way to gain and retain customers is by adjusting to the needs and desires of those markets. A company may need to put aside ego and take the time to listen to their customers to fully realize what they are asking for. Focus on quality. A company can spend as much money as it wants on marketing and advertising, and it may see some initial success. However, providing a quality product or service is what will keep those customers coming back time and time again. In addition to offering a quality product, you also have to offer the right product. Invest in information technologies. In today's day and age, you will be hard-pressed to find a successful business that doesn't have at least a moderate online presence. Those who don't bother to adapt to new and ever-changing technologies can be left in the dust. Allow yourself to be open to information technologies and the best ways to utilize them in your business.
A company that was based on values, not based on just making money.
Truth be told, I never graduated from college, and this is the closest I've ever gotten to a college graduation. Today, I want to tell you 3 stories from my life. That's it. No big deal, just 3 stories. The first story is about connecting the dots. I dropped out of Reed College after the first 6 months, but then stayed around as a drop-in for another 18 months or so before I really quit. So why'd I drop out? It started before I was born. My biological mother was a young, unwed graduate student, and she decided to put me up for adoption. She felt very strongly that I should be adopted by college graduates, so everything was all set for me to be adopted at birth by a lawyer and his wife. Except that when I popped out, they decided at the last minute that they really wanted a girl. So my parents, who were on a waiting list, got a call in the middle of the night asking, "We've got an unexpected baby boy. Do you want him?" They said, "Of course."
I actually started on the tablet first, and I had this idea of being able to get rid of the keyboard, type on a multi-touch glass display, and I asked our folks, could we come up with a multi-touch display that we type on, I could rest my hands on and actually type on. And about 6 months later, they called me in and showed me this prototype display, and it was amazing. And I gave it to one of our guys. This was in the early 90s. I mean, early 2000s. And I gave it to one of our other really brilliant UI folks, and he called me back a few weeks later, and he had inertial scrolling working and a few other things. Now, we were thinking about building a phone at that time, and when I saw the rubber band, inertial scrolling, and a few of the other things, I thought, my God, we can build a phone out of this. And I put the tablet project on the shelf because the phone was more important. And we went and took the next several years and did the iPhone. And when we got our wind back and thought we could take on something next, pulled the tablet off the shelf, took everything we learned from the phone, and went back to work on the tablet.
I've noticed something in my life, which is the people that are really good want to work with the best people they can find. Hopefully people that are even better than them, you know? I mean, that's my view of things, is if you work with people that aren't as good as you, then, you know, you become a country of midgets. If you work with people that are better than you, then you really grow.
We've also had a lot of requests from companies to port NextStep to other platforms, and we're talking to some of those companies right now. Now, Sun, we got a lot of requests from Sun customers to port NextStep to Sun. So a lot of them are saying, look, we may not want to buy them anymore, but we already bought 500 and we don't want to throw them in the bay. So can we put your software on them? Because Sun's falling behind in software. Now, Sun says they'd rather stick needles in their eyes than help us do this. So we're evaluating right now which will be worse for Sun, if we port it or if we don't port it. We're fairly customer driven. We'll probably end up doing what the customers ask us to do because we want to make them happy. There's a really interesting book that was written by a guy named Paul Strassman. And Paul has one of the more interesting jobs on the planet. He's this chief information officer, CIO, of a very large organization called the Pentagon. And they really understand software there. I had a conversation with him not too long ago, and he said the lesson from the Gulf War was that the best software will win the war. And so they're trying to do a lot of work in the software area. And he wrote a book, though, before he got this job called The Business Value of Computers. And it's rather thick and it's not good bedtime reading, but you can plow through it and there's some incredible stuff in it. And he asked two questions in particular. One was he surveyed a bunch of companies from not very successful all the way up through really successful. He asked how much they spent on information technology as a percentage of revenues. And he got a very counterintuitive answer, right? You'd think that either the really successful companies would either spend more or less than the not successful companies, depending on your theory. But it was exactly the same. They all spent about 2% of revenues on information technology.
Thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, or subscribe for more content.